Danny Boyle's 28 Days Later, released all the way back in 2002, didn't just breathe new life into the zombie film genre, it redefined it entirely. Often lauded as one of the greatest zombie movies ever made, the film stands as a haunting, visceral, and emotionally charged masterpiece. From its unique narrative structure and chilling atmosphere, to its groundbreaking depiction of the infected, 28 Days Later is more than a horror film, it's a reflection of humanity, survival, and societal collapse. In this video, I will go into the 7 key aspects that make this film a true masterpiece of the zombie film genre. What sets 28 Days Later apart from traditional zombie films is its reimagining of the undead. In Boyle's film, those zombies are not the shuffling, decayed figures of George A. Romero's classics, but hyper-aggressive, virus-infected humans. These creatures, referred to as the infected, possess a terrifying speed and unrelenting ferocity, making them far more immediate and dangerous. This shift from slow-moving monsters to sprinting predators added a new layer of intensity to the genre and raised the stakes for the survivors. The introduction of the rage virus is a stroke of genius. This fictional virus spreads through bodily fluids and turns its hosts into mindless, rage-fueled killers within seconds. Unlike the mystical or supernatural explanations for zombies in earlier films, the rage virus is rooted in biological plausibility. This scientific underpinning made the horror feel disturbingly real, blurring the line between fiction and reality. The rapid transformation of individuals into infected creatures also speaks to the fragility of human control, showcasing how quickly society can descend into chaos when fear and aggression take over. Moreover, the infected represent a new kind of horror that reflects the anxieties of the modern age. Instead of evoking fears of slow, inevitable death, they embody sudden, explosive violence. This reinvention of zombies, not as decaying, shambling corpses, but as living, breathing humans consumed by unbridled rage, elevates the stakes. They're not just frightening for their appearance, but for their relentless and almost primal aggression. The idea of encountering an infected creature is terrifying because of their unpredictability and their speed. Every encounter becomes a desperate fight for survival with no time to plan or prepare. The film's depiction of infection as a force that strips away humanity adds another layer of terror to this film. It isn't just about avoiding death, it's about avoiding becoming something monstrous. This existential dread, which is the loss of self-control and identity, resonates deeply, elevating 28 Days Later beyond mere horror into a meditation on what it means to be a human being. 28 Days Later is a masterclass in creating a post-apocalyptic atmosphere that feels uncomfortably real. The film's depiction of a deserted London is nothing short of iconic. Jim, played by Cillian Murphy, wandering through the streets of the capital city is both eerie and mesmerizing, setting the tone for the film's desolate world. These scenes were achieved through clever filmmaking techniques, such as shooting early in the morning and using minimal digital effects to clear the streets. The result is a hauntingly believable vision of a city and a civilization brought to its knees. The stark realism of the film's aesthetic extends beyond its visuals, with Boyle's decision to use digital video cameras lending the movie a gritty, documentary-like quality. The handheld camera gives the impression of watching real events unfold, pulling the audience into the heart of the action. This raw, unpolished style contrasts sharply with the polished cinematography of other apocalyptic films, making 28 Days Later stand out as a visceral, ground-level experience. The film also uses silence to powerful effect. The absence of bustling crowds, traffic noise, and everyday life creates an oppressive sense of isolation. This silence is punctuated by sudden, jarring bursts of sound, such as the guttural screams of the infected or the frantic rustling of leaves during a chase. The auditory design immerses viewers in a world where danger does lurk around every corner, and that helps keep them perpetually on edge. The atmosphere is further enhanced by the film's focus on mundane details of survival. The characters and their scavenge for food, navigate abandoned buildings, and confront the reality of living without modern conveniences. These moments ground the story in the relatable reality, making the horror feel personal and immediate. Unlike many zombie films that rely on spectacle, 28 Days Later emphasizes the small human struggles that come with living in a world that has lost all semblance of normalcy. At its core, 28 Days Later is not just a story about monsters, it's a story about people. The film's success lies in its ability to balance horror with deeply emotional human drama. Jim, played by Cillian Murphy, Selena, played by Naomi Harris, Frank, played by Brendan Gleeson, and Hannah, played by Megan Burns, form a makeshift family, their bond becoming a beacon of hope in a world consumed by chaos. Jim's arc is particularly compelling. When we first meet him, he's disoriented, vulnerable, and unaware of how to navigate this new reality. Over the course of the film, he undergoes a transformation, evolving into a resourceful and determined survivor. His journey from a naive innocence to hardened resilience mirrors the audience's own confrontation with brutal realities of this post-apocalyptic world. Selena, on the other hand, begins as a pragmatic and ruthless survivor, willing to do whatever it takes to stay alive. Her initial philosophy, "you've got to look out for yourself because nobody else will," gradually changes as she forms a connection with Jim and the others. This evolution highlights the importance of trust and human connection, even in the face of unimaginable horror. Selena's character challenges the stereotype of the strong female lead by showcasing that strength can coexist with vulnerability and compassion. Frank and Hannah add another layer of emotional depth to the story. As a father and daughter trying to survive together, their relationship provides a glimmer of normalcy and hope. Frank's protective instincts and Hannah's quiet resilience makes their bond one of the film's most poignant elements. When tragedy strikes, the emotional weight of their loss is felt not just by characters, but by the audience, underscoring the human cost of survival. The film's emphasis on character development sets it apart from other zombie films that prioritize action and gore. By making the audience care deeply about its characters, 28 Days Later ensures that every threat and loss can feel, and will still feel, profoundly impactful even after the movie is finished. The stakes are not just about survival, they're about preserving the fragile connections that make life worth living. 28 Days Later goes beyond the standard tropes of the zombie genre to explore deeper themes of societal collapse and morality. The film paints a grim picture of how quickly civilization can disintegrate when faced with an existential threat. From the deserted streets of London to the violent chaos of the soldiers' compound, the film depicts a world where the thin veneer of order has been stripped away, revealing humanity's darker instincts. The encounter with Major Henry West, played by Christopher Eccleston, and this band of soldiers in the third act serves as a chilling reminder that the true monsters are not always the ones that are infected. The soldiers' compound, initially presented as a safe haven, becomes a microcosm of tyranny and moral decay. West's plan to use women as breeding stock is a horrifying example of this, and of how power can corrupt and how quickly human beings can dehumanize one another in the absence of societal norms. This subplot underscores one of the film's most central themes: the infected are not the only threat. In a world without rules, humans can be just as dangerous, if not more so, than the creatures they fear. The film challenges viewers to consider what they would do to survive, and whether maintaining one's humanity is possible in such dire circumstances. The soldiers' actions also raise questions about the nature of leadership and control. West's authoritarian approach contrasts sharply with the collaborative dynamic of Jim's group. While Jim's group relies on trust and mutual support, the soldiers' reliance on fear and dominance ultimately leads to their downfall. This juxtaposition reinforces the idea that survival is not just about brute strength, but about maintaining a sense of community and shared humanity. Released at a time when the zombie genre was growing stale, 28 Days Later reinvigorated interest into the undead. Its influence can be seen in subsequent films and TV shows like World War Z and The Walking Dead, both of which adopted the concept of fast-moving zombies and explored similar themes of survival and morality. The film's success also paved the way for a resurgence of series, thought-provoking horror films in the early 2000s, inspiring filmmakers to push the boundaries of this once stale genre. The film's innovative approach resonated with audiences who were looking for something more than just cheap jump scares. Boyle's commitment to groundbreaking the story in realism and exploring the human condition elevated 28 Days Later above typical horror fare. Its success demonstrated that horror could be more entertaining and intellectually engaging, challenging the perception of the genre as lowbrow entertainment. The film also redefined the role of zombies within popular culture by focusing on the infected as a metaphor for societal fears, such as the spread of disease, unchecked aggression, and the fragility of civilization. 28 Days Later brought a level of depth and nuance to the genre that had rarely been seen before it. This thematic richness ensured that the film's impact would extend beyond its initial release, influencing a new generation of filmmakers and storytellers. Critics and audiences alike praised the film for its originality and its emotional resonance. It wasn't just the terrifying infected or the gripping action sequences that captured their attention, it was the way the film explored the human experience in the face of unimaginable horror. By combining elements of horror, human drama, and social commentary, 28 Days Later set a new standard for what the genre could achieve. The collaboration between director Danny Boyle and screenwriter Alex Garland was instrumental in shaping the success of 28 Days Later. Boyle's distinctive visual style and Garland's thought-provoking storytelling created a film that was both artistically ambitious and emotionally resonant. Together they crafted a narrative that transcended the confines of the horror genre, appealing to a wider range of viewers. Boyle's direction brought a sense of urgency and immediacy to the film. His use of handheld cameras and natural lighting created a gritty, immersive aesthetic that made the horror feel uncomfortably real. Boyle's ability to balance intimate character moments with large-scale scenes of destruction ensured that the film never lost sight of its emotional core. His vision was instrumental in creating a post-apocalyptic world that felt both haunting and authentic. Garland's screenplay, on the other hand, provided the film with its intellectual and emotional depth. By focusing on themes of survival, morality, and human connection, Garland elevated the story beyond a simple tale of survival. His writing explored the psychological and ethical dilemmas faced by the characters, forcing the audience to confront their own assumptions about humanity and civilization. The partnership between Boyle and Garland proved to be a creative powerhouse, resulting in a film that has stood the test of time 20 plus years later. Their ability to combine visceral horror with profound social commentary set a whole new benchmark for the genre. The success of 28 Days Later also paved the way for future collaborations, with Boyle and Garland continuing to push the boundaries of storytelling in their subsequent projects. The legacy of 28 Days Later is not just in its influence on the zombie genre, but in its demonstration of what can be achieved when the filmmakers take risks and challenge conventions. Boyle and Garland's work remains a testament to the power of collaboration and creative ambition, inspiring countless filmmakers to follow in their legendary footsteps. One of the most enduring aspects of 28 Days Later is its ability to reflect societal fears and anxieties. The film's depiction of a world ravaged by a highly contagious virus resonates strongly with contemporary audiences, particularly in the wake of global pandemics such as COVID from 2020. Its exploration of how quickly society can collapse under the weight of fear and aggression feels disturbingly prescient, making the film as relevant today as it was upon its release. The rage virus serves as a powerful metaphor for the destructive potential of human emotions. In a world where anger and fear often drive conflict, the infected represent the darker aspects of human nature taken to their utmost extreme. This allegory forces viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about themselves and the societies they choose to inhabit. The film's message is clear. The true danger lies not in external threats, but in our own capacity for violence and dehumanization. The film also explores themes of isolation and community, highlighting the importance of human connection in the face of adversity. The makeshift family, formed by Jim, Selena, Frank, and Hannah, serves as a reminder that hope and resilience can be found even in the darkest of times. Their bond provides a counterpoint to the chaos and destruction around them, emphasizing the importance of trust and solidarity in overcoming hardship. In many ways, 28 Days Later functions as a cautionary tale about the fragility of civilization. The film challenges viewers to consider what they would do in similar circumstances and whether they would be able to hold onto their humanity in the face of overwhelming despair. By forcing its characters to confront these issues, 28 Days Later encourages viewers to reflect on their own values and priorities, making it a film that continues to spark conversation and debates long after the movie and the credits are finished. 28 Days Later remains a towering achievement in the horror genre and a defining film of modern cinema. By reimagining the zombie archetype and grounding its story in emotional and societal truths, the film transcended its own genre. Danny Boyle's masterful direction and Alex Garland's incisive script brought to life a haunting vision of a world teetering on the brink of collapse. Where every character's choices carried profound weight, its raw intensity and innovative approach to horror ensured that it would leave an indelible mark on audiences and filmmakers alike. The film's influence extends far beyond its immediate impact, inspiring countless entries in the zombie and post-apocalyptic genres while continuing to resonate with audiences navigating an increasingly uncertain world. With its exploration of fear, morality, and survival, offering timeless lessons about the resilience of the human spirit and the importance of compassion in the face of chaos, 28 Days Later is not just a masterpiece of horror, but a reflection of our deepest fears and highest aspirations, ensuring its place as one of, if not the greatest, zombie films ever made.